Hello, everybody. Welcome to another vidIQ live stream. My name is Dan, and I'm excited that you are here today on Gaming Channel Day. Now, if you are not a gaming channel, there's always something. There's always something for you. A lot of the stuff will apply to any channel out there, but specifically today, it had been a while. We're going to talk about gaming channels, growing your gaming channel. We're going to speak to somebody who's done it themselves and continues to do so today. And we're going to also take your questions. Before we get started, though, let's welcome in Mr. Rob. How's it going?
I certainly haven't done this as a gaming channel, but I do play a lot of games, and I just finished Shadow of a Tomb Raider, which, controversial opinion, I don't believe is as good as the previous two games in the trilogy.
Well, Rob also doesn't like Zelda, so his opinion doesn't matter. We'll also welcome our special guest, Farzy. How's it going?
How's it going? Rob, I don't like that take at all.
Nah. To hell with everybody in the YouTube community disagrees with my opinions.
I have not even played this game, so I'm not even in the discussion.
It's good. It's just not as good as the other two.
Farzy, thank you for being here, especially on short notice.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Farzy is a Minecraft YouTuber, 341,000 subscribers, which is a lot more than the last time we talked to you. And we're going to be digging into a lot of this. But first, let's say hello to some of the people hanging out here in chat. I'll go first. I'll say hello to Gaming Gold. Hello. Nate F is here. We have Leon. We have Gamer Infinite and Sinogard. How's it going? Rob, who are we saying hello to?
Yeah, just going back to Gaming Gold, I see that the Hitman trilogy is now available on Xbox Game Pass. So I may be trying that next. When I finished Tomb Raider, I went through Xbox Game Pass and I added loads to my play later list. And I think I have 14 games now that I'm going to try after I complete Gears of War 5, which again is another game that's fine, but it had a terrible glitch whereby you would be playing it for an hour and then the game would glitch out and it would save none of your progress. So I hope that bug is being fixed for my second attempt to play the game. Right? How else can I derail this live stream?
Just say hello to only that person.
Yeah, hello to Mock Nix. I'm going to say hello to a person who just said my name and nothing else, which is Ikedab Studios. We've just got Mom Monster who's shouting PlayStation at us. Koifish Gaming, Cuphead or Bust. And we love you too. Devils is here.
Farzy, do you happen to have the chat up?
I don't. Should I?
No, that's okay. We can throw some names up there. You can say hello.
Okay.
To that person on the screen.
Well, hello, Kamari. How you doing?
Let me try to find some names that are really hard to say.
Don't do this to me. Take a shin. Rob. And Salman Famai.
Oh, this is the perfect live stream for him.
Slavy Monk.
Slavy Monk's a good one.
This is fun. The Adish.
And last but not least,
Plushy Gaming. That's an easy one.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So, Farzy, before we started the live stream, I was showing you a tool that we're slowly rolling out here at vidIQ, and I want to use it to not only show you, we're not just a live streaming service. We have a whole suite of tools. Leave a link down below. You can get it 30 days for free, the whole suite of tools if you're a new customer. And one of those tools that we're slowly rolling out is this fun new title generator. So check this out. We've been showing this off quite a bit. And this is one of Rob's unreleased videos. So we're going to take the title, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy it so we don't lose it. If you were to start typing a title into here, right? Let's say it was, Farzy, give us like a title you might start with. Not a full title, just like you're trying to come up with ideas for your next Minecraft video.
Like Minecraft building ideas.
Minecraft building ideas. All right, so not a very great title, but if we refresh the suggestions, we get Minecraft building ideas for your new survivalist theme. Minecraft building ideas, 25 cool, creative, and cool building ideas. I wouldn't use cool twice, personally. The 10 best Minecraft building ideas for your house, 15 creative Minecraft. Do any of these spark any intrigue for you?
I'm not even kidding. Like, I love those title ideas. Like, this is not an ad or something. I actually love this tool.
Victory!
So, full disclosure, Farzy not paid to be here. I had to beg Farzy to be here.
Wait, I'm not?
Yeah, and I'm showing you
I'm
tool.
not.
I think you are. I think Rob is paid.
Dang it.
But Farzy, no, definitely not. So we're paying you in free advertising for our tool. So if I hit refresh, how about these titles?
Yes. Yes, I love the middle one. 10 Minecraft building tips and ideas.
So there you have it. I love this tool, and we really love showing it off. And you can try this with your own titles once you get access to it. I'll go ahead and leave that. Not save it. Don't mess anything up. So yeah, and while actually I was sharing this screen here, let's talk a little bit about your channel. So give us everybody an introduction to who you are and what it is you do on YouTube.
So I'm Farzy. I make Minecraft videos, and for most of my channel's history, I did like tutorial, really like searchable videos, SEO friendly videos where I tried to teach people how to play Minecraft, how to build certain things in the game. And over time, I kind of morphed into more of a story driven let's play kind of channel, and that's where my channel is right now, and it really took off that way. And yeah, I'm just making really entertaining, as I said, storytelling based videos in Minecraft.
So when you say storytelling based, the first thing that kind of comes to my mind, I've seen a lot, especially like the people who follow Dream and things like that. They love to do like role play. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Actually, no. Maybe storytelling is not the right word for, the general audience. I just say that a lot because in my videos, it's a let's play, but I try and really like, script it out and make sure from start to finish it's really engaging. But to keep it simple, it's just like a really detailed let's play.
So I love that. And one of the things you've been doing really, really well are your titles. They're fantastic. So I'm looking at I made a giant greenhouse and bee farm. Very obviously a let's play. It's episode 17 as told by the title. You have a very clear goal as to what you're doing. 93,000 views, which I would say for your sub count, that's actually like incredibly high. What are you doing differently that's doing this for so many of your videos over and over again?
Well, for me, the big thing I wanted to focus on for this specific series you're seeing right here is I wanted to make sure that I had really good branding in the thumbnail. So if you watch one video, you know exactly what you're watching. It's Minecraft Hardcore. It's a Let's Play. There's the episode number. And here's the 2 things I'm doing in that video. And then if you go to my channel, you'll see all the videos recently are like that. So you can easily, get hooked on the content.
So you just finished, it looks like, 200 episodes of a Minecraft survival series.
Yes, I realized on that that's not really great for new viewers to get hooked on to that long of a series. So I said I'm going to start fresh, and it really has paid off for me.
Why episode numbers? I got to ask. Everyone here has heard me say, "Oh, quit using these," and you're having a ton of success. I mean, millions of views here on this video right here, although it doesn't have episode numbers, but still hundreds of thousands of views on your Let's Plays. Like, did you test not using them? What drove you to put these really big episode numbers?
Yeah, in fact, I used to not do them at all on those exact thumbnails. I re-went later on and, put them in afterwards. And I just realized for a Let's Play series, especially one that's not necessarily like very SEO friendly all the time, I wanted to make sure that people know, what episode they're on, where they're at in the series, and, that they can continue to see more, videos of that series. I guess to put it simply, I didn't want people to think they're just going to see a standalone video. I want to really emphasize this is a long-term series that you're going to see more of.
When would you... let me ask it this way. What kind of videos do you make other than Let's Plays? Because I see one here. It looks like not a tutorial. You're just kind of doing like an explainer about Minecraft mobs. What are some of the different styles of videos you make?
Yeah, so I call those videos like showcase videos where I'll showcase, certain things or facts about the game. And funny enough, I'm starting to kind of peel away from that. I'm really trying to focus on Let's Play specific because as you kind of scroll down more there, you'll see there's a lot of different kinds of videos like tutorials, showcases, Let's Plays. And I really want to kind of niche down a little bit, which kind of sounds counterintuitive now that I'm bigger. But I really want to, be the master of one kind of industry in Minecraft. So that's why nowadays I'm really trying to just focus on those episodic Let's Plays.
I'm curious in terms of your audience, Farzy. Do you keep track of new viewers and return viewers at all in the YouTube analytics?
A little bit. I think the last time I checked, I think it was like 65, 35-ish. I need to check again, I think.
In which direction? 65 new audience or 65% returning viewers?
I believe it was new.
Okay, because
wow.
what I find really interesting there is that in terms of you know these longer series, I would be assuming that given the view counts, which seem to be fairly consistent throughout, that you'd be having a high degree of return viewers coming to your content, and maybe those flagship videos that aren't necessarily related to a series, they're more these one-off ones, would be attracting the newer audience. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be that YouTube is happily continuing to share all of your content with new audiences.
I will certainly mention that on the videos that don't have episode numbers on them, like the one-off ones, those have a lot higher percentage of new viewers. I definitely have seen that.
Yeah, with 2.5 million views there, over 500,000 views here, I imagine that it would have to be the case. Plus, these are very searchable, and like you said, they're one-off videos. There's no expectation that people are going to need to watch 263 other videos to, and I've seen your videos. I know that they don't feel isolated like that when you watch them. It's clear things are going on, but they're very welcoming. That's an important thing. If you want to talk about that a little bit for folks here who are trying the style of content, like what is it that gets new people hooked when you're midway through a very long Let's Play series?
Well, the big thing for me personally, like my strategy, I would say I just want to make sure that I just am very, inviting in the videos, and I have a good personality, good energy. It's more about, telling people, hey, I am a good time. Like, if you want to watch my videos, you're going to have fun, you're going to smile, as opposed to just focusing on, having the perfect video idea or, the perfect kind of content in there. I just focus on more creator centric than topic centric.
Interesting. So because the videos, the titles seem very focused on like a specific topic. Take us through then. I'm more or less trying to talk a little bit here about like the way you edit your videos. We're looking at 20-minute videos where you say you make a simple copper farm. That got a lot of views. And it's a 20-minute Let's Play video on one very specific thing. What's this video like when people click into it?
Hey, Dan, do you want to run the risk of trying to run this video in the background? I'm curious to know if it will work on your setup as opposed to mine.
It absolutely will not.
All right.
I'll let it play.
If sure.
Going to take us through.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to speak on this now?
Yeah.
Sure. So what I try and do in these videos, as I kind of talked about earlier, is storytelling. So I'll try and make it where throughout the entire video, even if it's like a simple topic, that, they see the whole evolution. They see, the problem, they see the plot of it, they see the resolution, and I'll try and extend that as long as I can without sacrificing, the actual entertainment value of it. But I really try and make sure I'm not just skipping out and getting rid of the boring parts. Rather, I make the boring parts entertaining and show the whole thing.
Right. It's very, very high energy. And I'm imagining this pace is like throughout too. Yes. Where a lot of zooms, a lot of stuff going on. So you put a ton of work into your editing. On a typical video, what would you say like your average view percentage is like?
I think it's around, last time I checked, I think it was 50 to 60 range.
Nice.
That's for 20-minute like Let's Plays, really.
Yeah. Oh, just bear with me. I'm going to try and bring up this screenshot for you all. We should be really interested in that. But carry on, Dan. I'll need a minute to find that.
No problem. I want to say, because like for anyone here who feels like this is very like focused around like Minecraft, what advice would you have for creators who are in any type of game and they want to do more episodic style of content?
Well, in any kind of game, I think you just need to focus
in this video. I'm gonna.
That wasn't distracting.
Sorry about that. Sorry,
the jump
I didn't
scare.
realize I was going to play.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So for any kind of game and any kind of Let's Play series, you just want to make sure that every single episode, has some sort of like progression. So as opposed to just saying, for 5 episodes in a row, I'm going to do something, relatively similar or relatively like baseline. Try and make it so you're making more and more progress. And that tends to be something that really attracts new viewers, because if they watch, let's say 2 or 3 of your episodes and they clearly see that like you're making more and more progress, so you're, getting more and more of this or that, and they're seeing, that kind of trend, it's really enticing as opposed to seeing someone do the same kind of similar thing over and over and over, and then you get bored of it, you know?
Yeah. Sorry, Rob.
So what I was trying to find was in this video recently, YouTube revealed some of their secret sauce behind what is good audience retention. And so they show that at 30 minutes, because Faz, your videos are what, between 20 and 30 minutes?
15 to 20.
15 to 20. Okay. So what we're saying here is that the top 10% of videos on YouTube for between 15 and 30 minutes is an audience retention of 54 to 49%. So you're right at that top line, which just proves that when you are sending positive signals to YouTube, it's going to share your content a lot more. So top job, well done. And yeah, just going back to the brief snippet we looked at of the video, although it's a let's play and you are basically playing a game and showing people how you're playing a game, a lot of afterthought goes into how you're telling the story, or the editing. When I guess if you equate it to a Hollywood movie, they'll film for 3 months and then they'll spend 18 months post-production doing all of the editing and adding the stuff, the extra stuff that really starts to tell a story. And I'm not saying that you spend quite that long in the editing process, but it can be as important as capturing the footage itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's this trend going on right now. I wanted to ask you about this, and I alluded to it in a conversation prior to this live stream, but we've been noticing, Rob and I actually made a whole video about this. We've been noticing these channels coming along. They're only a few months old. They're getting thousands of subscribers, millions of views, and they are specifically focused on Minecraft, and they make maybe 20 to 30-second videos. And some of them, one in particular we looked at, was uploading 8 videos a day, at least that was when they first started. First of all, have you seen these channels for yourself?
I have seen them. I have not seen 8 videos in a day. That is crazy.
Rob, we never remember the name of that channel. What's the name of that?
I'm finding it now in the background.
Okay. Because there's
Give me a second.
There's always one I look at, and that's Steve.
It's never too late to start on YouTube. Sorry about that. Oh, dear.
Nothing like 2 Robs.
Too many Robs in this live stream. I want to count and see if they're still doing. So just from the ones that are a day ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 5 now. 5 to 6 videos a day for Stevie. So almost 4 million subscribers in their About section. They joined in 2018, but I don't think they've been making content that long. If I just scroll down here, this will take forever, I think. I have one of these scroll wheels that kind of just scrolls forever when you pull it, and it's just, here we go. It's still going.
Wow.
The wheel's still spinning.
These aren't shorts either. These are
no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think Rob found the other channel.
I did.
Go ahead.
All right then. So this bad boy here, their channel. We've done a complete case study on this, by the way, if anybody wants to check it out. This channel is basically a month old. I think it started on December the 15th, so 6 to 7 weeks old. This is how much content they've already created. And they are basically very short, normal YouTube videos, about 40 seconds to a minute and a half in length. And they're probably doing 2 or 3 videos a day right now. They're approaching 20,000 subscribers, and even more impressively, they've already got 7.5 million views in that space of time.
Can you tell us what they're doing?
That's a loaded question.
Yes.
Well, I will say this. Having these really short, and I'm assuming very entertaining videos, it's allowing people who don't have a lot of time or a lot of, attention span to watch these and watch them in bulk, as opposed to watching a video that's even 5 minutes long. Maybe someone's not really into that. They might not have the, attention span or, the real desire to do that. But these videos, they're so easy to click on. The thumbnails look very, simple and to the point. They're very, very clickable and watchable. That's, I guess, the general point I see here.
we were impressed by obviously the sheer volume of them, the evolution of their content too. When we looked at their like very first videos, it didn't take them long to kind of hone in their strategy. I would say a week at best before suddenly like they were like, okay, I got this. now we just see like a few videos posted every day. I would say, because it says in their about section, it's like meme style content. So one of the other things, I don't know if we mentioned this in our video or not, but one of the things I've been thinking about with this channel lately is I think they're capitalizing on trends. And the only reason I didn't identify that before is because I'm not familiar with the trends they're capitalizing on.
So these, I guess, meme trends within a topic. So like the average man on the street's not going to be able to follow them. But if you're following Minecraft, then there's going to be an instant association with them.
I think if you're somebody who just spends a lot of time on TikTok, which I don't,
Okay. All right.
Like if you watch a lot of memes on TikTok, I think what this person might be doing is interpreting that content and using Minecraft as kind of like the staging area for it.
Yeah, I buy that.
Interesting, the spike there in views and subscribers.
Yeah, looks like 1 or 2 videos went viral. 130 videos in the last. So that's 3 a day, basically 3 or 4 videos a day.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to ask you, just getting away from like these channels that I almost call anomalies, although there's more and more of them all the time. One thing I wanted to ask you is like, how do you interpret the types of Minecraft content out there? Because personally, I'm developing this like. I'm trying to decide how many different niches are within Minecraft. You have people who cover mods, you have people who do PvP, you have people who do role play, people who do let's plays. Do you think it splinters beyond those topics? Do you think like how niche does Minecraft get?
I mean, Minecraft goes extremely niche, but I would say how I think about it is just taking it into like 4 separate categories. I think obviously you have your let's play content. You have your like funny humor meme kind of content, kind of like those shorter channels. You have your modded content, which I guess could also go into let's play, and then obviously like your SEO friendly tutorial kind of content. And those are the main categories I think about, but obviously within those there are like thousands and thousands of different kinds of niches in the within those.
Do you think that as a Minecrafter, and if you have a game that has mods, if you have a game that's a big community that you play, like I want you to try and interpret this in context with the game you're playing, because I think a lot of games would have the same issue. Do you feel like if you started doing PvP content like Bed Wars, things like that, a lot of channels we've seen do like Bed Wars and almost exclusively that kind of PvP minigame content. If you pivoted tomorrow, even though it's Minecraft, do you feel like those videos would be successful?
No, definitely not.
Like not even a little bit, or do you think you'd have a head start because you have all these subscribers?
I would certainly have a head start because of the viewer base I have. Some people might actually enjoy that, but I don't think a pivot into another niche like that is a good idea. I've done it before, from going from SEO friendly tutorials to let's play content. Did not work out well at first.
So that's how I feel personally as well. So we're kind of on the same page, and Minecraft's a good one to look at just because it's so vast and there's so many new niches come up with Minecraft because they just let you do whatever you want to it. Like the modding community can do whatever, and suddenly whole new game modes are invented. And then Mojang's like, maybe we could add that to our base game. So that I just wanted to ask you that because I think a lot of people, they said, well, we watch vidIQ and vidIQ says I got to play one game. But they do Bed Wars, and then they start like a Minecraft Let's Play. And I always feel like that's still 2 different things, even though you're still in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you feeling about your audience? Like who's like the avatar that you're serving with every video?
The avatar, that's a great question, actually.
Dan, can you bring up the channel while we're discussing this? Because I was going to ask this question, but I'm glad you've started down this road.
Yeah, so as far as the avatar goes, I know for a fact I'm serving people who enjoy Minecraft survival. They like Minecraft Let's Play content. They like seeing you, progress things in the game. As far as their interests, I'm really trying to go for more of a younger audience because I try and build, bigger things. As you can see, huge, giant, mega, all the keywords in the title. So I try and really go for that, that grand kind of wow, he really built that in survival, which is really hard to do.
I want to go back to this, but I'm just saying that out loud, so don't forget.
Sure. But yeah, no, that's really it. I try and just go for like that wow effect, mostly for people or maybe around my age in their 20s, maybe a little bit lower in like their lower teens, but I try and hit that kind of age range.
Would you say male or female?
At least my analytics would say male, but I don't really target either one.
Okay. Can I ask some more questions, Dan, before you get back to yours?
Go ahead.
What would be the ideal comment on one of your videos? This is something that Ed has talked about at Film Booth. Like when he's making a video, he tries to aim for particular comment goals like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was going to be able to do this, or you've completely changed my mind about this topic. Is there a very common thread of comments that appear on your videos?
A common thread of comment. That's a really good question, by the way. I like that. I would say a comment that I see a lot is just saying, wow, you are an amazing builder, or it's talking about the editing and saying like, I love the edits. Like, thanks for putting in all the effort with, all the little small things you do. But mostly it's about being a good builder in the game.
So I guess it's being better than your competition in the sense that you can build bigger things, more impressive things, more elaborate things. You may be doing something similar to other creators, but you can do it better, as opposed to something completely different or a fresh perspective. Would be fair to say that?
I'm hesitant to say that because there's definitely people who I would consider competitors who are much better builders than me. But how I look at it more is I'm a better builder than the viewer, and that kind of blows their mind when they're watching me.
That's very much the teacher approach. As if when you're teaching something, as long as you know one more thing than the student, then you're still a teacher. Do you ever think about a secondary hook, or so like the thumbnail and the title tells a story, but then perhaps in the first minute or two you plant a second story? Like Mr. Beast is famous for doing this, and I've started to try and do this in very small, simple ways to try and get better at this. Like in one example, I had like a shriveled up pea that I put on my shelf, and I told people I was going to move this pea around my shelf, and I had to find it. And so I was amazed at how many people played that like mini game within my video. And like, I was just having lots of comments saying under the clock or second shelf, second from the bottom. I couldn't believe it, but I realized, like this secondary form of engagement can be really powerful.
That's so funny.
Are you planting stories throughout your videos as well?
I don't do any peas in my videos.
No, obviously
not. What I try and do in my videos that kind of remind me of is I will have my main title, right? So for example, on my last video, it's I made a giant storage building. After I kind of do my introduction, saying what I'm going to do, I will then divert into something else that's somewhat related. So it's not totally separated. It's not like a mini game per se, but as far as like, the scripting of the video, I'll try and make sure just to, have a little more time in the video, a little bit, lengthier video, I'll do something else. And it's not even in the title. It's something that maybe would help me to build that giant storage building, or in the previous one, so what would help me to build that giant lighthouse? Maybe I'll go, if you're a Minecraft fan, maybe I'll go mine a certain kind of block to build it with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have an idea for you if you are looking for more B-plot ideas. What I've seen channels do successfully is, especially in Minecraft, like there's a lot of different, you probably have a farm with animals in it, right? Like it's producing something like wool, like name one of the animals. And then that over the course of the series, like this animal has its own story arc, so it could fall into a pit or something. You could lose track of it. And then you have to derail your video at one point to go find it. It dies and you hold a funeral for it. Like you can, these are fun ways that I think if anyone's looking like what would a B plot be for my videos, like think about the tools the game gives you and use those to your advantage.
That is such a good point. I've done that before, but just for the viewers here, it's such a good idea because even if it's like a very small part of the video, some people will really enjoy that, and that'll become like the animal per se in Minecraft becomes a character in your video, and you have so many content ideas off that. So the only thing I would say about that is don't do too many. I am terrible at doing like 10 different, animal characters in my series, and then it just becomes kind of overplayed.
Yeah, that's you can take it a little too far, but I think as like a B plot, it could be really fun. Also, it keeps people like engaged throughout the series and merch. Those characters tend to become T-shirts at some point. Especially if they're sheep, you use the wool to make the anyway. So I want to talk about something you mentioned a little while ago, and that was the scale of some of your builds. It's clear by these thumbnails that these builds are getting really big and really unwieldy. Like over here, as I'm just scrolling through, these are huge. Now, I'm going to guess there was a point where your houses did not look like this, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And you still did the Let's Play. You're like, I'm going to build a house, whatever, slap it together. And people are like, oh, I kind of like those cool little couple things you did. So what you're doing here successfully is you are scaling up physically the builds you're doing, but by doing so, the content that you're making. Like you went from here to now here. Like this house looks way cooler. And then this, what is that? Is it church?
Church?
It's like a potion tower thing.
Potion tower thing. I like it though. It looks good. What is that?
That's a library.
They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is something that I think a lot of people, like, you get to a point in your YouTube journey where I think it's really easy to go stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. You have a content style that works. You have a thing you're doing that works. You're getting a consistent amount of views. Maybe it's like 10K per video or something you're just really happy with. And you just continue down that road for a while. And what Farzi's doing is not settling for that. Was there a point where you felt like it was stagnating? Is this like intentional, or do you just feel like you're getting more comfortable building, and so this is just a natural progression for you?
I would say it's a little bit of both, especially in like a Let's Play. In Minecraft, the more you play, the more materials you get, and the more you can build. So it's kind of like just how the game works. But as far as me, I definitely try and build bigger because, as I kind of mentioned earlier, when I was doing that kind of hand gesture like this, I really try and make sure every episode is like a little bit more epic than the last one. And that's why you see the builds getting bigger and bigger.
Can I ask a really naive question about this, the build concept of Minecraft? Mm-hmm. I'm going to equate this to Lego, right? So just bear with me.
That's a good comparison. When
you build something like a church or one of these towers, do you know how many pieces it comprises of?
Well, if you count with your hand, it doesn't just tell you.
So you don't know how many pieces there are, what different types of pieces you've used, or the time it took to build?
I don't. There are mods you can install that counts it for you. I don't use that.
Because I was going to say, surely somebody should have built a mod for this concept of building something, how many pieces. And then, like, almost you could download, not like a PDF, but or like a building instruction booklet so other people could build it.
Yeah,
that's my business plan for anybody who wants to.
That is a really cool thing that they have. They have like a blueprint mod where you can basically take the blueprint. It shows you an outline of where the blocks go, the count, and you can basically just like put them in the right spot.
Because I love building Lego. I wouldn't build Minecraft buildings, but I'm sure many gamers would be really fascinated in doing other people builds, especially if it's something really popular. Like if you could build the Game of Thrones castle, or the helicarrier in Avengers. I'm sure lots of people would love to be able to do that.
I think what would be really fun about that is the idea that you could put that in your survival world, which means you have to go out and get the blocks yourself. You can play creative if you want, but I think it'd be fun for people. It would force them to have to play the game. They're like, okay, I got this blueprint from Farzi, and they plop it down, and it's a shadow of a castle. And they're like, now we got to go collect all that, Yep. So that could be a really fun way for people to engage. And those mods, yes, they do exist.
Again, another stupid question. Is there anything that converts Minecraft builds into Lego builds?
No, but there is. You can 3D print your Minecraft builds.
Right. Okay.
You can do that.
Not Legos, though, I don't think.
I'm surprised I haven't. I guess this is Microsoft buying Mahjong. There's no like official. I mean,
there is. There's like
they do some builds, don't they? But because like I would love to be able to get some of these Minecraft things, turn it into a Lego replica and build that. I would be all over that as a very old millennial
business idea.
Well, we want to answer some questions from the audience, but before we do, anything you wanted to add?
Not that I can think of on the fly.
No problem. I just want to make
Dan,
sure.
did you remember to ask your question? You said you were gonna. You said it out loud.
That was
gonna...
yeah. This was the scaling of the build.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Like
right.
I didn't want to lose that point because scaling up. So for Mr. Beast, what is it? It's spending more money, right? It's doing a bigger thing every single video, and we saw that that come to a head with the Squid Game video, the biggest video he's ever done. That's kind of, I think, where you're going in like a smaller sense, right? Now it's, you built these cool houses before, but now you're like, I'm going to build this huge thing. And one thing for anyone who doesn't know Minecraft, you're doing that in hardcore mode, which means if you're standing up here at the top of your lighthouse and you fall off and die, your world is deleted.
Yep. Lose it all.
Yep. So all of that for naught.
And that is great content. High stakes.
As the builds get more epic and complicated, presumably it takes longer to construct the video around it. Does it mean that you're posting on a less regular schedule? And if so, have you noticed that positively or negatively impacts your audience and views?
No, it is really important to me that I always post on the same 2 days every week. I want to have that familiarity where everyone knows when I'm going to post. As far as the builds getting bigger, I'm sure there'll be a point where I'm like, all right, guys, I need like a day or two more. But so far, I've been just grinding it out and making it work.
Okay.
I am starting to pick some really good questions here. So thank you for using #question for your questions. Shows a lot of you have been here before, so we appreciate that. But yeah, you see some people, if you're new here, doing that. Big #question really helps us discern who's talking amongst themselves and who's asking a question. We have Farzy for, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, another 20 minutes.
Correct.
So I'm going to be picking questions that I feel like are specifically catered to you, and then Rob and I will be here for the next hour after that to answer more of your YouTube-related questions. Right. We're getting a lot of these really specific questions about video ideas. I'm just starting to star these now in the background.
Dan, I'm getting paid for this second hour, yeah?
Fine. Just send it to... I can't fall for these anymore. You're just going to get really obnoxious with the sound effects.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Never mind. I'm done talking to you. All right, so I got some good ones here. The first one I will pick is, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but how do you come up with all of your video ideas?
So for my video ideas, I literally have a Google Doc, just a big list, and anytime I think of anything, I'll just write it down. But as far as, generating new ideas, I will try and go on like certain kinds of external sites, whether it's like Pinterest, Google Images, maybe even like video game concept art, and I'll try and just look at potential, structures that I might want to build in the game. So for example, I'll go on Pinterest and I'll just search like medieval kingdom, medieval town. And if I see a building that looks kind of cool to me, I'll say, hey, what does that look like to me? Oh, a blacksmith house? Okay, blacksmith house episode right there.
I never thought Pinterest would be a good place to generate Minecraft ideas, but that shows you how much I know. Farzy, has it got easier to come up with ideas the more you've created, or harder because you're running out of ideas because you've already done them?
So that's kind of a two-way street. I want to say no, it's easier for me because, just over time, I'm thinking more, I'm trying to be more creative. I'm always thinking about ideas. But on the flip side, it is harder the more you play specifically Minecraft, because at a point, all the, in-game challenges, like, enchant your tools, all the things that Minecraft presents to you, you do those all. And then you have to really focus on thinking of things on your own, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a two-way street, but for the general answer here, I would say no. The more I think of ideas, the more ideas start to, sprout for me.
Yep.
Got one here that says, is it better to build a community with tutorials and then pivot to entertainment videos of the same game, or should you just start with entertainment videos?
I would personally not start with tutorials. I would start with entertainment. But that being said, absolutely focus on your SEO. Make sure there's keywords, make sure it's searchable. Don't just say episode number 1 Minecraft Let's Play. Make sure there is some inherent value that can be searchable. But if you start with tutorials and you pivot, you lose a lot of those followers and those subscribers.
I think this is a really interesting conversation we could probably talk about for an hour. I would say if you're making, there's different pressures on different aspects of your content creation. If you're going to be an entertainment channel, there is a lot more pressure on yourself as a personality to be the reason why people come to your videos. Whereas if the focus of the content is on the education, the tutorial, the topic, then I think it's easy to begin with, because I think everybody is probably better at being a teacher or an educator on a broad topic, as opposed to be unique, funny, and entertaining in their own way. That's certainly how I started out on YouTube, being a teacher, doing tutorials. And I still feel as if finding that X factor and being an entertainer and having a strong personality is a real challenge.
Yeah.
You know, 2,000 videos into this journey, but for other people, it's the opposite way around. They're very good at entertaining, but they may lack the storytelling aspects of it, or like being able to teach people in a way.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Like on my personal channel, I feel like I'm getting really comfortable at the entertainment aspect.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
But it took me a long time. When I started gaming on YouTube, I was tutorials. I was trying to just show people something. I didn't believe in myself as an entertainer, you know. And as time has gone on, and I've gotten more comfortable in my own skin, got more comfortable with the game I'm playing, with the audience that I'm playing it with, it's been a lot easier for me to relax, be more myself. And now on my personal side, I only make like entertainment videos. I don't even bother with making tutorials. And that's just how I'm comfortable. It's not a strategic thing in terms of, oh, should I do tutorials for the algorithm? Or no, it's just about what I'm comfortable doing. With vidIQ, you may notice, and I'm sure you'll still notice this over time, but when I first started versus now, I feel like I'm getting a little more comfortable with making this style of content in vidIQ, to where I can tell a few more jokes, be a little more myself. But when I first started, and I still feel like now in a way, I'm buttoned up. I'm very tense. And that's just from niche to niche, it'll vary, is my point. Like YouTube education content versus gaming. It took me a while to get comfortable with gaming. YouTube education content is going to take me a little while to continue getting comfortable and like finding myself.
We kind of forced ourselves to do that, Dan, with collaboration, wasn't it? We had to find a unique and entertaining way to hand off to each other. We were fine doing like the educational segments ourselves, but then it required a little bit of thought, certainly on my side, to do the mug handover. That's another one where we had like a secondary storyline going on. We had to find something that both Dan and I had, and so we both had one of his mugs. And so, well, we could do it now, Dan. Have you got your mug? Can I pass
it's
it?
Way up. It's way up on.
Oh, so I can't literally pass it down to you.
You can still throw it if you want.
It's just gone.
Thank you for your question, though. Hopefully that was helpful. I know we just kind of like took it over, but do you have some tips for storytelling in non-Let's Play content, like reviews or tutorials, for example?
That's interesting. I would say just make sure there is a clear progression in the tutorial or the review. So like, you know, present what you're doing at the beginning, whether that be like a problem or you're just, you know, doing an introduction, and, you know, kind of go through all the motions of it. Go through, let's say it's a tutorial, like what you need, and maybe even story about how you got it, and then talk about, you know, what you got to do from there and wrap it up. It's more about just identifying different points in it, as opposed to just saying, I'm going to show you how to use this and the video's over. Try and go through the entire story of how you made the thing or did whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is where B plots come in too. Like we make a lot of tutorial and educational content on our channel. And as Rob and I were just talking about, the different like B plots that we're experimenting with to try and just bring up the entertainment value, and of course the retention, the engagement. There's a progression. Like we were passing around that mug in that other video, and each time it got progressively more silly, you know. So at first it's just a simple handoff, and then Rob's playing golf, and at one point we drop it and break it. So it's just getting more and more ridiculous.
I just want to quickly show you this. Ed from Film Booth is a master at doing this for very educational content. Let me just show you an example here. This is a video about big mistakes YouTubers will make. So why, I ask you, is he in a bin traveling through time and talking to himself? That's all the storytelling elements of a video about YouTuber mistakes. So definitely check him out. He's excellent at doing it. And when I look at his videos, I think, oh my word, how does he do this? How does he turn these into stories with such editing skills and storytelling? And I'm really quite envious. So yeah, do check him out.
Great questions, though. Thank you for all of these. We do need to star some more, but let's see. Would a survival/hardcore series be getting more views from a new audience as a smaller channel? Should I stream or make videos? That's a separate question. Maybe we can get to that, but I have some thoughts about that separately. What do you think about the first part?
Okay, so are they asking comparing a survival world versus a hardcore series? Is that the question?
So I guess maybe it's a question about stakes. Or if it isn't, I think that's what we should maybe talk about, because that's what you're doing now. You were doing a survival series, now you're doing a hardcore series. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't know, survival, if you die, you respawn like any other game. In hardcore, your world is deleted, which means all the work you've been doing is gone. Your fun pets are dead. Your storage has been looted by bandits. Like, it's just consider it gone. It never happened. So that's really, really high stakes. And any video could be the last video in that series.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's much better way to put this. So I obviously think hardcore is better based on my history right now. My recent history has shown that my hardcore videos do much better than survival. That being said, be honest with yourself about your skill at the game. If you're going to die, don't play hardcore and ruin the series for all your viewers. You're much better off having at least a semi, longer series as opposed to 3 videos and you're dead. But that being said, if you can survive, hardcore is much better because there's so much potential for like content ideas with the stakes. You could say, oh, I'm going to do this, and video could be over, series could be dead, and people are really interested. In survival, you can't do that because, you don't lose the world. So I would say hardcore for sure.
Can I ask, if you were to die in an episode coming up here, how would you title that video?
That is something I've actually thought about a lot. I don't know. I feel like I'd be tempted to just, in the title say I died or I lost my hardcore world. But at the same time, if the death happened at the end of the scripting of the video, like, at the 20-minute mark, it'd be hard to keep people on the entire road. So I would probably title it saying I died, but I need to do some like finagling to put that in a little bit earlier on and not make them watch a whole meaningless building video.
Be really tough, I think. It'd be really tough not to spoil. You don't want to spoil it by titling it like, oh, this is it. But at the same time, you want them to see, why and what and how.
Yeah,
so
they wouldn't stick around for 20 minutes of me building a lighthouse if I'm going to die at the end of it,
Right. You'll have to find a way to play that up.
Yeah.
Should you stream or make videos? That is, the reason I want to talk about this is because it's more of a personal question. You're kind of asking us like what you should do, but what are you comfortable doing? YouTube does both of those things. What would you like to do? For me, I'm trying an approach where I stream and then I'm taking clips while I'm streaming and I turn those into videos. It saves me a lot of time because I have a lot going on. I don't have time to edit fully scripted videos. The live streams provide me an opportunity to make really fun, entertaining content for my core audience, people most dedicated to me. And then the clips, the best of the best moments, are the ones that get new people in, and hopefully the stream grows that way. I like that as a strategy. I feel like it's a fun little content ecosystem, but for some people, it's just not going to work. It might be your niche. It might just be you. But which do you prefer doing would be my question back to you. And if it's both, then test it. Maybe you play hardcore on stream, so you don't have to worry about a scripted series ending in 3 episodes, and maybe you do survival in videos. There's no wrong way to do it. Do you stream, Farzi?
I do. I stream on YouTube too. And I don't do what you do. I don't take the clips out, but I just do both. So I do my 2 videos per week, and I say I'm going to do, some of the more boring, monotonous stuff for the videos on a stream every weekend. Yeah.
See, I like that. What about streaming channels? What's some of the things to focus on personally? Over time, players will get bored no matter what you do, ? Help me decipher that. What does that last bit mean?
I think it's meaning the viewers will get bored over time.
I would hope not.
Both the creator played the game and the viewer gets bored over time.
It could go either way.
it could happen, but your goal is as a content creator is to keep them entertained. As a content creator, I think your job. Sorry, Farzy, I'm just taking this over.
No, you're good. Go for it.
As a content creator, when you play a game, your job is to keep other people playing that game. You have a vested interest in them being as interested in that game as possible. Games have a shelf life. Minecraft has a shelf life. It hasn't gone yet, but it does. You don't want to be playing a game and then talking poop about it in your videos and making people not feel excited to play it, right? Like, I'm going to be a Zelda channel. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. You don't like it. And you're Rob Wilson and you're going in your videos like, this game is trash. The people who like you and find you influential, find you very influential, are going to be like, Rob's right. He's making a lot of good points and this game is trash. They're not going to play it anymore. And in turn, they're not going to watch you anymore. Like, your job as the content creator is to keep people engaged. But that's just my soapbox on that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sure. So yeah, what I would say is streaming in a way is just like making videos. You are, taking your content, trying to be entertaining and keeping the viewers there. So I would say if you're a streaming channel, you just want to continue to have ideas and things you want to do and just elaborate on that as you're going. I mean, I feel like live in a way could be easier because if people are watching a live stream, they're not expecting all these crazy edits. They're just there for, a good time and some good vibes. So all you got to do is just keep playing the game, keep a positive attitude, and don't, be all negative like Dan was alluding to. And I mean, you should be fine as long as you're just enjoying the game.
You set a goal. Like a lot of streaming advice out there, a lot of it starts with setting a goal. Put that goal clear in the title and the thumbnail too. Even if the best advice I ever heard was, even if you don't achieve your goal, it doesn't matter. The point is that you're trying to beat this certain boss or do this certain thing. And people who are watching your stream are already in. They click on the title and thumbnail because they're like, this person's trying something like that. That sounds really difficult. I'm going to watch. I'm going to see if it happens. And when it doesn't happen, you could be like, well, better luck next time, and play into it, right? Like, it's all for entertainment purposes. But if you set a goal, and the more prep you do for a stream, I think the better your retention is going to be. I think people aren't going to get bored. You're not going to get bored because you're doing something very specific. You're not just turning on the stream and hoping something happens to you. You are making things happen. Yeah. Sorry. I like streaming. Should I play one game or more than one? Or I guess they're asking, should they just play one game or could they split it between a few different games? What do you think?
I think the answer is very clearly just stick to one game, especially if you're a small channel. You just want to try and attract viewers to come to that channel. If you're splitting up your kind of content, it's hard to get, viewers to stick around because half the content they're watching, they don't even like. So focus on one thing and just become the master of that game.
I'm trying to find that time you played that other game.
It didn't happen.
It's here. It's here. Trust me.
Erased from a channel.
I'll find it.
No, I don't think it's there.
Shut up. I'll find it.
Might be here a while.
So yeah, but look at the views, like over time, like your channel just snowballs because people, they know what to expect and YouTube knows exactly who it needs to serve your content to time and time and time again. Like
it does help that Minecraft is the eternal YouTube gift from the gods.
Yes, it does help. And there's so many things you can do with it. But I would even say, as we alluded to earlier, make sure that when you're playing Minecraft, you don't jump around within the Minecraft niche. Like Farzy is creating building content and Let's Play style content. Like we talked about earlier, Farzi's not going to play Bed Wars on the channel. It doesn't fit. It's still Minecraft. You know what it is if you like Minecraft, but it doesn't mean you like it. Because if you're watching him for builds, you don't really care how he is at PvP.
Absolutely.
My channel has been growing slowly these days. What can I do to attract even more people there? So very general question for you.
I would just say focus on your keywords, your tags, and just making the videos more SEO friendly. That meaning, it's more searchable. So maybe I'm going to assume you're playing Minecraft, but if you're not, this goes for any kind of topic. Just go use like the keyword research tool. Shameless plug, Vid Iq. But go look up some good keywords, go find out what's trending and try and make either videos on that or at the very least have your, topics and keywords centered around that. That way it's more searchable.
And something that, just as an example, you covered a trend probably at the right time. This is your most popular video.
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. It's probably brought you a lot of new viewers. What do you mean?
They'll be disappointed. I'm not doing that ever again.
Well, that's okay.
I mean, that is an interesting question there. So
Yeah.
that is a viral video. Do you think it brought in the wrong audience who was expecting you to do more afterwards?
I mean, if I look at it as like a one-off video, totally fine. But yeah,
Right.
certainly a lot of people who watched that did not care about my intricate Minecraft builds. They just liked Among Us.
Yeah, I think it's relevant to this question here. Sorry, Dan.
It's all right.
I was kind of like the same thing. Is slow, subtle growth, like 300 subs a month, better than going viral? And I think a good argument to going viral is that more often than not, even if a channel does go viral, they don't know how to sustain that viral growth, and within a few weeks, months, they're back to where they started. They just had this one video that did something amazing, but now it's almost a detriment to the channel because it might still be bringing in an audience when you're doing something totally different. I'm not saying that this is essentially what happened to you, Farzi, but in most channels' cases, slow and steady growth is better because you're understanding more about how YouTube works and how to become a better creator as your audience builds, as opposed to getting all of this fame and fortune when you're really not equipped to deal with it in the next content that you make.
So when this hit 2 million views, you were probably a lot more relieved because this is a lot more, I think, your speed right here.
Yeah, and in fact, I made a follow-up video to that called Mob Strength, and that did pretty well too. So it's really good if you have a viral video, can you follow up with something similar?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong, though, with trying out a trend. I mean, it's still Minecraft. It probably introduced, who knows? The people who watch your videos today may have come from this video right here. So, but yeah, I
think you have to, don't you? You have to, as part of experimentation on your channel, follow trends to see how you can add your own voice and conversation to it.
Yeah. The trend was Among Us, but you didn't play Among Us on your channel. That doesn't make sense. But you gave it a Minecraft twist, as a lot of people were, and it paid off. I mean, so yeah, that's just another bit of advice there. Follow trends, but do it in your style. There's one question here I want to make sure we get to. I know we don't have you for very much longer. What's your workflow like? Posting highly edited videos at such a regular rate seems tough to do without being super organized and well planned. This is a fantastic question.
That is a great question. So I am like super on top of my organization for my videos. What I do is I take a Google Doc and I basically write down all the posting dates, hence why I have specific days I post on so I can, really focus on when they're going to come out. And I will put down all my video ideas. I will put down, the script for it, how I'm going to start, how it's going to go. Hopefully, it can kind of go off the rails, but mostly I have the idea down. And then I dedicate, at least for me, it's about 2 days of recording and then a day of editing. If you don't have as much time, I know it's tougher to really, have the nice edits and have longer videos. But the long story short is I try and make sure I dedicate at least a day for recording, a day for editing. That way they're both, really tight. And then a day for posting and the script all done. And if I do those like 3 or 4 things, the videos always come out really good.
Are you still 100% making the content by yourself?
Yes, I had an editor, but I'm now editing myself because I realized I can get a lot more engagement that way.
Okay, interesting. So I think that the 2 things I took out from that is, first of all, you're making yourself accountable by having this list of things that you need to do over a period of time. So you're not just making videos when you feel like it. Mm-hmm. It is, I guess, in one sense, turning it into a little bit of a job. But, I think anything that you do in life that you want to take seriously and turn into like an income has a certain element of accountability, but also planning. You're doing a lot of preparation before you even press record. And that can go from like exactly bullet pointing what you're going to be doing in a video to, for some people, thinking up of a title and a thumbnail before they even press record. So they have an idea of a direction of the content.
And something I was actually telling Dan the other day is Like, you really just need to make sure you're posting videos, even if you're not like super in the mood to do it, because every video that you make, one, you're getting better, and two, there's a chance that it goes viral and you get, more viewers. So it's more of a long-term kind of game where you just need to get videos out and don't focus so much, making the videos perfect. Just get them out on a consistent basis, and, from there on, it gets a lot easier.
Is this the quantity versus quality conversation coming up again in my favor? That's quite a long sound effect. I'll pause it there.
It's very long. We have another hour of answering questions. You are more than welcome to stay. But I know you told us you can only be here an hour. I just want to thank you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Fozzie.
I appreciate being here.
Your channel's linked down below if anyone wants to go check it out. As I always try and tell people, don't subscribe to Farzy if you're not going to watch Farzy.
Please.
Yes, it helps a lot more if you're actually interested in excellent Minecraft content. Then please go check out Farzy. If you're not, then don't do that to Farzy. Farzy is a nice person who gave you a lot of his time. Don't subscribe if you're going to bail on it.
No one subscribe, please.
Any final thoughts?
I guess I would just say, make sure if you're making videos, you're just focusing on having fun with it. Don't compare yourself to other people, and just, go for the consistency, long-term kind of game. And that's all I got.
All right. So I'm starting to start some more questions for Rob and I to answer here over the next hour. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. That was awesome. And it's on short notice too. So it's really, really cool of you to do that.
Of course. All right. I'll see you guys.
All right. See you later.
Peace.
All right. Rob, that was awesome.
And then there were two. Yeah. I'm trying to remember when we did Farzy on the podcast.
It was ages ago now.
How big was he as a channel?
I think he was about to hit or had just hit 100,000.
Right. Okay.
One or the other. And yeah, there was a lot to be excited about, a lot to dissect then, but I think our conversation in that podcast went a totally different direction than this, where it was nice being on video. We could actually break down the channel and show a lot of examples.
But what I was surprised about was how he's actually gone backwards in team building. Usually you try and outsource stuff out to give yourself more time to do the things that you really enjoy. But hey, perhaps editing is one of the things that Farzy really enjoys doing, and it feels as if he's got better control over it. So that was interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that the next time we have him on.
It just as a quick aside on hiring people and not hiring people. So Farzy had an editor for a while, tried that. One thing, and he didn't say he was going to do this. I'm just speculating on what if he still wanted to hire people, what he could do. A lot of creators get themselves a personal, like a virtual assistant. And that's when they're starting to get brand deals and advertisements, things like that person can help them kind of keep things organized. You heard how organized he is. He could get an assistant to help him organize all of his videos. There's a lot of different ways he can go about this. If he wants to handle the titles and thumbnails on his own, there's still more help he can invest in when it comes to his channel.
I wonder if it will become an inflection point where, because his builds are so complex and take so much time, that he has to spend 3 days recording, and then has to, the day he spent with an editor, he would have to hand that over to an editor, or he gets somebody to build his stuff. Like he's there just pointing, saying, build this, pull over there, tree over there, move that surface 6 inches across.
If you watch Mr. Beast gaming videos, it's very clear, and I think he even alludes to it, that other people build the sets for him.
Yeah.
And you could imagine that he could hire somebody to get the materials for him. He could start a server and literally pay somebody to do all the gathering, so he doesn't have to spend the time doing it. You could just do creative mode if you're going to do that. I don't think that's a realistic, but it's just one way to think about it. But yeah, all right. I'm starting questions slowly here.
Hour 2 then. I should have a little musical jingle for this, but I don't. So instead, welcome to hour 2 of Q&A. Dan and I take your questions for the next hour on anything and everything to do with vidIQ, YouTube, and your channel, with the exception of channel audits. We leave them for Tuesday, so do join us for Tuesday channel audits if you want your channel looking at.
Yes. Okay. So I am picking out some pretty good questions here. There's some ones that I would say I wish I had more detail. I'm not going to answer this question, but I'm going to invite you to give us a little more detail here. Starting off, would you post regular videos and shorts on 2 separate channels or 1 channel? My question back to you is, Well, okay, I read this wrong, actually. That's a perfectly fine question. I thought you were saying, should you post videos on 2 separate channels? And I didn't see the shorts when I read that very quickly. This is up to you, though.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to make your shorts very similar to your long-form content? Because if so, if it's very, very similar, I don't see a point in putting it on a separate channel. But a lot of times we recommend it for certain situations. If you're really worried about it, there's no harm in a second channel. So that's kind of our general advice there.
My stock answer to this right now is, if you are asking, should I make shorts or should I start a second channel, or should I put it on my same channel as what I have now? That suggests to me that you're making short form content in itself for the first time ever. So you perhaps don't have the experience or understanding of how to make shorts. So I personally would start a second channel to experiment until I know what I'm doing before I expose my regular audience to the short form content.
Okay, there you go. So thank you for that. Yeah, so certain questions we're not taking are the ones that are, get more views. How do I get more views? How do I get more subscribers? Very, very general. So try and be a little more specific. I'm not talking to this person. Just in general, when you're asking.
We have a 44-minute video on the channel that's all about how to get more views, and I would like more people to watch it. So please, like, for example, if all 265 people who are watching that video now and watch all 40 minutes of it, that would really help with the watch time, and it would boost its discovery. And then everybody on YouTube could learn how to get more views on YouTube.
So this person asks, do gaming videos get lower retention overall? Go ahead. I was going to say, okay. It's a really, it's too general of a question to say for sure one way or the other. But what I will say is, yes and no. If your gaming videos are just you doing a let's play and you're not editing like our guest today, Farzy, yeah, I could see it getting lower retention. A lot of let's plays can be like 15, 20 minutes long. And if you're not going to do things to keep people engaged, you will get lower retention. But I think that's any video. I also think that if you make short form content, like 30-second videos, shorts or not, your retention should be really, really high. It should be like 80 to 100% or more than 100%. So it's a very general question.
Yeah, from a very, I guess, stereotypical viewpoint, if your audience is younger, then let's assume very stereotypically that they have a shorter attention span. But as we showed you from that data from YouTube, Farz's Minecraft videos, which are, as he said himself, are targeting a young demographic, are in the top 10% of audience retention on YouTube. So I guess the pressure is on you as a creator to make your content very watchable for your target audience.
Yeah. Our next question here, we talked about this a little bit when we looked at those Minecraft channels that were making these really short videos. Maybe we can expand a little bit. So I see a lot of channels who grow in 1 to 7 days, 30 subs to 4,000 subs. When I use their technique, I don't get many views. So the channel we looked at earlier, like Stevie, for example, is a good example of this, like grew really, really fast. Titles like Do You Know It? And like really basic thumbnails. So like if you try to implement these techniques on your channel and you're finding you're not getting the views you expect, like maybe they're just asking, why is that? Or what can I do? What are your thoughts on this?
So this ultimately is a conundrum of you comparing yourself to other channels and saying, if I do this, then I will get the same results. And the chances are that there are gaps in what you are doing versus the competition, in that your thumbnails aren't as good, your titles aren't as clickable, your ability to retain an audience isn't as good, or you're not as funny, or it could be a multitude of things. But also at the same time, if you're just trying to replicate somebody verbatim, like copying them, why should a viewer choose you as opposed to the content that's already on YouTube from established creators that they're already familiar with?
Yeah, I on another personal channel that I'm testing some things on myself, I've noticed that I've basically tried to do exactly what you're saying. I've tried to take strategies that I'm seeing other channels do, and it's working for them. Very simple titles, very simple thumbnails, and I'm trying to do my own version of it. It's not going so well. And I'm thinking to myself, Okay, there's a missing piece here. There's something I don't understand. And what I would do is I would dig into their content more. I went through their history, and I found that yes, while today they're making videos with really short titles and very simple thumbnails, there was a time where they were kind of slowly building their audience and trying a lot of things. Yeah. And what I found is that the answer was not clear by looking at their content. The answer wasn't clear by looking at their content from today or their content from the past. And the reason for that is because they had a different experience. They are just the separate creator who's on a different journey, and they learned something from their own data that I don't have access to. And even if I had access to their data, I may not even see what they saw. But at a point, they started to understand their audience. They probably, and rightly so, only compared themselves to themselves. And that's why today they're having such an easy time, at least on the surface, it looks like, with simple titles and simple thumbnails. When we looked at that channel earlier, the one Rob and I did the case study on, like, it was the same deal. Like, this channel started, and right away they were just zooming. They were just on their way to fame and glory. And we looked at that and we're like, how did they do that? But when we mentioned this in our case study, they've probably done this before. They might have 10 other channels that they learned something new every single time about the audience they wanted to target. And so by channel number 10, the one they're on now, it's easy for them because they know exactly what they're doing. They've created a plan and now they're executing on it. So you can't look at another creator and go, oh man, like they were at 30 subs and now 7 days have gone by and they're at 4,000. How did they do it? And just copy their strategy, because you don't know their strategy. It's impossible to know unless you're going to like sit down and actually like talk to them about it. And then you might find, I can't do that because they have this whole set of circumstances that I just didn't have access to. Hopefully that covered that in a nice round. Yes, exactly. Nice full circle, nice bow on that one. Okay. Any tips on how I grow a Roblox channel? And are there other games that would make me popular? So that last bit is what I wanted to talk about. That's the wrong question to be asking. I'll wait for it. Where is it? I know. I saw you reach for it. I'm like,
which one was I supposed to reach for?
I like that one. That was good.
Yeah.
You're asking the wrong question. I look at Farzy. Like, Farzy,
was that the one?
Yes, that
wrong
actually
question.
Yeah. That's for you. So Farzy started, hold on, I'm gonna pull this up, in 2016. Okay. This channel started in 2016, Farzy's channel. That is way after Minecraft came out. And back in 2016, people were saying Minecraft is oversaturated. In 2022, Minecraft is oversaturated. That's the number one complaint people have when they start Minecraft and don't see success. It's oversaturated. I shouldn't have started in the first place. You got to understand that Farzy chose Minecraft because that's what he loves. There was no concern. Maybe there was concern, but there's obviously paid off. There's no concern that he needed to have that Minecraft was oversaturated. He wanted to play Minecraft on his channel, and that's what he did. If you like Roblox, it doesn't matter if you feel like Roblox is going to get you big or not. One, is there an audience for it? And two, do you like the game? Or the topic. That's what you need to be asking yourself. Is there an audience, and do I like the topic? If there's not an audience, that's a different story. Maybe don't play classic games that are never going to have updates and have no audience, because it's not really going to be a channel that has a very high ceiling of viewership. But if you picked a game because you enjoy it and it has an audience, that's the right track. If you picked a game because vidIQ told you it's going to get you a bunch of views, you've done something wrong, because it's going to be very, very, very easy to burn out.
I'm going to summarize this question as such. The creator asks, make me popular. The viewer replies with, I don't care. The viewer wants value from the content. And so the creator is there to serve that audience, not to get monetized and earn loads of and earn money from it, at least from the recommendation system point of view. The recommendation system there is to serve the viewer, not to serve the creator. The creators themselves are serving the right content for the right audience. So I guess my answer there is kind of like you need to have a bit of a mind shift, a mindset shift.
Yeah. Not to jump on you too hard, but a lot of people have asked us this question, and every so often I like to pull up this type of question just to help you get in the right mindset. Once you understand that YouTube's goal, like if raise your hand if you've ever felt like YouTube doesn't like small creators. Like I've heard this complaint like so many times. YouTube doesn't like small creators. If you've ever felt like that, you got to understand that YouTube primarily wants to give the viewers the very best experience. So all of the algorithms they've created across their site are to help viewers get in touch with the creators that are making content they want to see. And what's going to keep them on the site? That's the most important thing. YouTube wants people to stay on YouTube as long as possible before they jump off and go over to Netflix or somewhere else. So that's who's getting rewarded when it comes to the YouTube algorithm. It's the viewers. They're supposed to get the very best experience. Your job is to figure out what subset of viewers do you want to give that experience to.
As you build a relationship with your audience and there's trust, friendship and community, that's going to grow your popularity. But at first, you have to provide value. I guess it's the same sense of if a video starts with, "Hi, welcome to my channel. Here I teach people how to grow on YouTube. Subscribe for more like this." You haven't given them a reason to subscribe to the channel yet. You're asking the viewer to make me, the creator, more popular before I, the creator, have given you the value I promised in the title and the thumbnail.
I saw a handful of hand raise emojis. Thank you for being honest.
Very good.
Yeah, no, when I first started, I felt that way. I feel like, wow, YouTube really buries small creators. And I just didn't have an understanding. I had no understanding of the site I was on or how it worked. And until I went out and sought like the answers to those questions, for myself, I just continued to think that way for a very long time. So
I think there is a shift at a macro level in that it feels like YouTube is harsher on small creators. But the fact is, new channels that are starting as small creators tend to have starting with a better skill set and perhaps a bit more knowledge, just because they've been watching YouTube videos for 15 years, or they've been almost subconsciously preparing to start a channel through like maybe playing on their phone. Like somebody like a child these days could maybe get a phone when they turn 10 and they're playing with the camera settings and stuff even before they start a TikTok channel or a YouTube channel 3 or 4 years later. So they've almost had a little bit of grounding, whereas 10 to 15 years ago, it was a Wild West and people were literally pressing record for the first time ever using a camera when they started their YouTube channels. So I think just generally, the competition is even more fierce at any point on your YouTube journey, whether you have 1 million subscribers or you're pressing record for the first time.
It used to be easier. I mean, and by easier, I mean literally like if you wanted to start a Minecraft channel, you didn't have to think too hard about the type of Minecraft niche. Like, I'll give you an example. When Minecraft first came out, there was a creator by the name of Paul Soares Jr. who made the first, I'm going to say this with quotes because I don't really know if it was literally the first, but I can tell you this. It was one of the first Minecraft Let's Plays that got featured. The creators of Minecraft put it on their homepage for a while because this person decided to just tell you how to survive your first night in the game. And it was a great introduction to the game. It became like the trailer for the game for a while. So this creator gained notoriety really, really fast because no one had done this before. Like it was, it was very, very niche and they did it the best. So that made it really easy. And a lot of creators like spun off from watching his videos because they're like, this is great. I want to do this. And so a lot of creators grew very fast in Minecraft just playing the game. If they felt like building something one day, they built something. If they felt like going on an exploration thing, they did that. If they felt like doing PvP stuff with their friends, they did that. And that was it. There was only this small group and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And that's just what happens. Things get bigger and bigger. And then you got to specialize more if you want to start and stand out. Farzy, I would say today, his content resembles a lot of the content I saw from those channels early on in Minecraft. He's playing the game. He's giving value. He's showing, but it's mostly just that essence is still there. I'm just going to play Minecraft. I'm just going to be really specific about what I'm doing. But it took him a long time to kind of find that niche for himself and specialize. And could he now pivot to PvP content? I agree with him. Probably not. But still, this is the essence of what I remember. It takes longer to do now because so many people are doing it, and he had to kind of find what worked for him. Does that mean YouTube hates small creators? No.
You can put this at a platform level as well. This time last year, it was a lot easier to start a YouTube Shorts channel. Now it's 10 times as hard. In a year's time, it might be 100 times as hard. And as soon as YouTube monetize that platform effectively, it will probably be 1,000 times harder because there will be so many people joining the Shorts wagon, so to speak.
Well, and that's where the quality comes in. You start with quantity, like cut your teeth, like get in there and really understand like how to make a good video, right? And
yeah. Can you imagine like somebody who's just been making hundreds of terrible Shorts videos over the past year, but at least now they have all of experience a year into it, whereas somebody who's held back on starting a Shorts channel because they hate short form content, but now they're realizing just how much of an impact it's having on video consumption.
Yeah. Like the other thing I wanted to say just regarding Shorts is like I got millions of views off my Minecraft Shorts that I made, right? Like, and they were very simple. I did not put a lot of time into them. Now the Minecraft Shorts that are getting millions of views are the ones who have like perfected it. They really put in a lot of work. The quality is there. And if I want to compete with them, I have to up my game. I got to improve the quality of my Minecraft Shorts, you know? So yes, it was easier in Shorts. And when I first made the Shorts, there were just not a lot of Minecraft Shorts yet. So the real estate was wide open. There wasn't a lot of places to go. Now there are. So you have to build up these skills. And it takes a lot of patience too. Sorry, I'm getting on like 10. There's 10 different rants there I want to go on. I'm going to try and like chill. Someone just said, excuse me. I'm not sure if this is Rob or Dan. Paul is still playing Minecraft and other games. There's another guy called X. I'm not sure the X character, but yes, Paul is still at it. Paul is playing other games on his channel, to this day. But yeah, the point.
Paul
Source Jr., the Minecraft creator I mentioned. So yeah, which is awesome. Like still like running a business off of YouTube after that initial success. But yes, he decided that was going to be the pivot he made, and he's kept like this really cool like core audience over time. But it's hard. It's if you wanted to do that today, you'd have to find your version of it. You're not just going to be able to play Minecraft and say how to survive the first night and get the same success, because that's been done. So now how are you going to up it to the next level? I have that's not a number. 308 million impressions, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, I will go with that.
We'll say that. 7% click-through rate, 35.4 million views. You're making me math here, and I'm getting upset. And 76,000 subscribers. Wait, what are you doing wrong? Hold on. Why do they think this is wrong?
Okay, so I selected this question.
Why?
So they're saying like they're getting tons of impressions.
Okay.
What seems to be relatively solid click-through rate, tens of millions of views, but he only has this amount of subscribers.
Don't say only.
What am I doing wrong? And so my answer to this is the only thing you're doing wrong is worrying about the number of subscribers you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been following our subscriber series, when we're going from 0 to 1 million, we're up to 10,000 subscribers now in that journey. I try to explain that ultimately subscribers are just a means to an end for a lot of people, in that once you've got 1,000 subscribers, you monetize your channel. You don't need to worry about the subscriber number because that will take care of itself. And the only reward after 1,000 subscribers is a silver play button at 100,000 subscribers and the gold play button at 1 million subscribers. As long as people are returning to watch your content on a regular basis, you're getting lots of return viewers. They are your active subscribers, whether or not they press the red button. The other reason why this might be is because you're getting millions and millions of views from Shorts, and people don't tend to subscribe as much to Shorts. I wouldn't be worrying about anything right now, especially when it comes to subscribers. As long as your channel, your views and your return viewers are stable or they're going up, then your channel is growing. Because subscribers, as you know already, in my opinion, mean very little to the current health of a channel. I don't know, Dan, if you can add anything to that. I may have just taken away all of the best bits of argument.
I think the word only triggers me. When people say I only have 100 views, I only have 76,000 subscribers. Like those are real people. Those are most of them. I'm sure there's a couple in there that they subscribe to, have 2 accounts or whatever. But for the most part, that's 76,000 humans who at one point or another said, like, I like this person and I may come back, and they hit subscribe. And it's hard to get people to do, especially today. Most of the channels I watch, I'm not subscribed to. Rob has said the same thing. It's YouTube is so good at serving me the content I want to watch that the subscribers are like the last thing I see content from in those cases, you know? So it really, like, I just want a mindset adjustment for anyone who uses that word only before they say their subscriber count, you know? Like, those are real people. It's a sign of, it is an achievement. It's just an achievement. It's something that comes over time. Like, people hit the subscribe button at that period in time. They want to watch more of your content. Eventually they may fall off, and 76,000 subscribers does not guarantee you 76,000 views. That's just not how it works. But it's still an achievement. It's still something to be proud of. 100 subscribers is something to be proud of. 1 subscriber, 1 random human who finds you on the internet and likes what you're doing is something to be proud of.
We're not doing channel audits, Dan.
No, we're not. But
I have to bring up a channel just to maybe give you an understanding of what might happening with your channel. So 75,000 subscribers. View counts seem to be in the under 5,000 range typically, which isn't unusual for a channel of that size. When you sort by most popular, they have a few viral moments.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
which is fantastic. And they are all on a topic that they're still covering, which is Hitman. I guess the challenge is, and this is a huge challenge for all gaming channels, is how popular is Hitman today versus when you were getting those viral videos? Because I don't think there's been a recent release of Hitman. I may be wrong about that.
Didn't you say it came out on Game Pass?
It did, yeah, but that's only the re-release of the game. So it may increase in popularity. You may want to tie in some of your content. Like, I'm going to replay all of these games on Xbox Game Pass. That might be one way of approaching it. But perhaps there's just a natural shelf life of this video that's coming to an end. I suspect that you're probably getting a healthy number of return viewers, but YouTube can't find new viewers to serve this content up to, because people are searching for Hitman generally. And I'll do a quick search here. Hitman Xbox Game Pass. Is there like any interest here, perhaps? People are talking about it being an update, so it was news. But again, I don't know if people are going to be playing through it and whether it's worth doing some sort of re-let's play, so to speak, on the Xbox.
Right. So this is where, like, Hitman is a franchise. If there's any information out there on the next version of Hitman, the next game or the next DLC or whatever, you need to immerse yourself in that kind of like world, right? You need to be like the go-to person. You got to know everything you can find out about it. And then when you're waiting for the next release in your franchise, if you're just going to be a Hitman channel, you have to understand 2 things. One, there's going to be a lull. There's just going to be times where it's not as many views. And the second thing is you need to be willing to like speculate. You have to understand that like you are trying to keep that audience active as best you can. So the videos that are going to do really well for you are when you talk about, hey, like this is going to happen in the next Hitman game, or I would love to see these features in the next Hitman game. So that's kind of where you could take that content. And I don't want you to worry. I've seen channels like yours so many times. Channels with millions of views and there's popular videos, and then today they're getting less than 10,000. That happens all the time. And it just depends on your topic. That can happen. That's a normal thing that happens. So I still wouldn't say you're doing anything wrong. It's just getting creative about different types of content you can test out for that audience. Okay. Thank you for showing us the channel, because I needed to see that. I need to understand like why that question. Interesting one here. Are premieres ruining video promotion? Simple answer, no. Premieres, I'm actually open to premieres after talking to Emily on these live streams. Actually, Emily Baker joins us usually the first of every month, so definitely check those out. Emily's using premieres really successfully and trying to encourage others to do the same, and now I am. If you schedule them out, don't schedule them more than maybe a couple hours before the video would come out. That's her advice. And be in chat when the premiere goes live. The nice thing about premieres is that YouTube puts them out there like they're a live stream. So before the video is launched, it's already in the home feed of your regular viewers, and they're starting to click in there before anybody else. And the cool thing about that is if you get, let's say, 100 people watching your premiere as it premieres, and they watch the whole thing because you're engaged with them in chat and everything, that's 100. That's 100 people that watched 100% of the video. And that's really excellent for your retention. That's a lot of really early positive signals. But if you want that, it's really important to engage and actually be there in your chat. But if you're posting premieres like 2 days before they come out, like, yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot.
I've been thinking of the things we're experimenting with down on the main channel. I've been thinking about doing a premiere. Maybe that epic 45-minute one video I made might have been worthy of a premiere. But as you say, it's so important for the creator themselves to be in the chat. We launch our videos at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I just didn't feel like getting up.
Yeah.
No, but so shame on me. Shame on me.
Well, for the next one I make, I could probably do that. I just have to remind myself to actually do it. It's just not my workflow. It's just not something I would think to do. But be a really interesting test. Okay.
Oh, is the block facts in here?
Oh,
is that the block facts? Hey,
it might be the block facts. I'm always scared to use premieres in case the viewer number is so small it will look sad. It's like a live stream, right? When like we have 320 people watching the live stream right now. Every so often we get someone in here who's like, "You have 1 million subscribers. How are only 300?" But that's a concurrent number. People are coming in and out throughout the day, and we're not worried about it. Like, I think that's really respectable for a live stream on YouTube. But yeah, I wonder if that's the block facts.
I think it is.
Is there a check mark?
I don't know if it puts check marks on the.
I thought it did.
On the chat here, I don't know. But anyway, this is Block Facts, by the way, a channel who successfully transitioned from shorts to long form content.
Yep.
Didn't see any real impact in view counts, but I'm assuming his watch time just went through the roof with a transition from 27 second videos to 8 minutes, 40 minutes, 10-minute videos.
Yeah, I would say those are good length for a premiere. If your premiere is like a 30-second short, that's silly. But
yeah,
if it's a 10-minute video or something like that, that's a really good length, and that's not a lot of time for you to commit to being in chat either. So yeah, a little bit of premieres there. And if it is block facts, hello to you. And if it's a block facts imposter, out, go. Just kidding. So Lapis says, how does the quality versus quantity question change when you factor in live streaming? I want to release really good videos, but I'm at school, so it takes a really long time to make videos. So I'm assuming you mean editing. Live streams are a lot easier. We just sit down, like turn it on, then you're done.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about the question because I would say perhaps the quantity element is even more important with live streaming because you only get the experience by actually live streaming. First of all, to work out the numerous technical errors that you will undoubtedly have, the spontaneous moments of failure that you will undoubtedly have, and then the interactive element that can only be done through going live and then being able to bring up these types of questions. So I'm not sure how it translates into editing the videos.
Well, you can have a quality live stream even if you're not editing. Like we talked about earlier with live streams, goals. Set a goal. Like a well-prepared live stream is a quality live stream. So set up your goals, figure out exactly what you're going to do. And it even helps. I set myself time limits. I try not to stream more than like 3 hours, and that keeps things more concise too. And for me, I feel like it leaves my audience wanting more, which is one thing I want. If you're streaming on YouTube, I think it's a great platform to do shorter live streams. Twitch is different. Like you only exist when you're live on Twitch, but it's different on YouTube. So I like doing shorter streams. 3 hours. It's a shorter stream for me. But yeah, if you want quality and you're going to be a live streaming channel, then make quality live streams. It may not translate to editing, but there is some prep that can go into those that really helps. So yeah, if you're at school, you found a way to make content that works for you, and that's awesome. So find a way to make the best version of that content. And quality versus quantity doesn't always have to be versus. do as many live streams as you can, and then as you do those, you learn ways to improve the quality. Eventually, it's quality and quantity. They're not opposed to each other. They're working together because you're getting better and better at your craft. Do end screens help get more views, Rob?
Oh, they so do. They so do. I neglected end screens for a decade, but I decided to have a concerted effort into how to make end screens more impactful, because one thing they do is that they keep viewers watching your content or content that you intend them to watch. There is one extreme example on our channel right now, which has turned into evergreen content that is getting 50% plus.
Which one is?
So the one is how to get your first subscriber, Dan, is the I guess a showpiece one. Scroll down, further down. Keep going. That one, the one with a white background. Scroll back up again a little bit, just a little bit.
This one. That
one. So if you go to the analytics of that one, and then you scroll to the bottom of this one.
I don't have to scroll.
Yeah. So, I forget which video is directing traffic to that. I think it's the YouTube mistakes ones, which is really popular in itself. So that video is driving 50% of its audience to that one video. And it doesn't look too much like 600 views there, but if it's always driving traffic to that video as an evergreen piece of content, that's a quick maths, about 3,500. No, not 3,500. Let me get my maths right. It's about 1,500 to 2,000 views per week, which is about 100,000 views a year, which is all just through thinking a little bit more about the intent of the end screen. The two tips I recommend in terms of end screens is that keep it simple. Give people one choice. So not two different videos they can watch and a subscribe button and an external associated link. Just tell them, if you want to learn more about what we were talking about in this video about how to get your very first subscriber, then click on the video over here. So directly refer to it, address it, point to it. That's the best call to action I think you can have in that respect.
There you go. Yes, we're living proof. End screens are a good thing. And
I've still got a bit to learn with end screens. I still feel as if I'm getting to the end of a video and think, all right, now I need to just quickly do this end screen reference. I feel as if I can do more of a build-up or a pitch.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm trying to incrementally improve on that. And I'm happy with my progress so far.
I make videos that are so short sometimes that I can't have an end screen, but I am utilizing pinned comments. And I got a comment the other day that someone said like, "Oh, I finally got to the end of all of these, links." And I knew what they were talking about. Yeah. And they said like, "I guess this one doesn't have one." And I laughed and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And I went in and added one because my chain of links was broken. So they kindly reminded me that one didn't have one, and it made me really happy to see, as a tear wipes down my it made me really happy to see that somebody actually followed, like for a long time. They were just watching all of my videos in that way. So even if just a handful of people do that, that's some loyal, like dedicated viewers. How many times should you test a series before you declare it dead? A series that initially did well? 3?
I think, unfortunately, the answer here is going to depend on the topics that you're in, certainly, and how many videos you make. Like, if you make one video a month, then it's going to take you a quarter of a year to decide whether or not a video is dead. Whereas if you make one video a day, then probably 3 videos isn't enough. When we were live streaming yesterday, Jade said that you probably want to spend 6 months experimenting with a series, even if it can be an absolute pain seeing your view counts decline or not perform well. But you've got to give YouTube patience to find the right audience for the content, and you've got to be determined and stick to it. If you wanted to push me for an answer, I would say 3 isn't enough. I would be thinking 5 to 10 videos on average. But as I say, it depends.
Yeah. I just in the background pulled up the channel just to see And so we're not doing channel audits, but the one thing this channel is doing is playing Fall Guys and Minecraft, which, in my opinion, are two very different games. And I think the answer for you in any channel, if your channel looks anything like this, where you're playing a couple different games that really, in my opinion, don't relate to each other, like streaming Fall Guys videos, Minecraft stuff. I think I saw some Minecraft animations in there, which was really cool. You're not giving any one type of content a chance. Like, you really got to stick with something for a longer run than a few videos before you pivot. So that's what I would say. I wouldn't declare something dead that you enjoy doing until you've tried it every certain way that you can think of, you know? So in this case, I would say, like, play the game and stick with it for a period of time. Give yourself a goal. Like, I'm going to do this game for 20 videos or whatever, set like a number, and then say, I'm going to do 5 of those videos with this certain style of title. And I'm going to do, you know, if it doesn't work, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do 5 of these videos with a certain style of thumbnail. If it doesn't work, I'm going to kind of pivot and change it. Like, and that might be pretty high level. Maybe you're not quite comfortable committing to that kind of goal yet, but I think that's what it takes. I think it takes like a lot of patience and a lot of like dedication to a certain style of video. Do you think comparing yourself to other YouTubers is good or bad?
Generally, is bad the right word? Or is it more, it has the potential to become toxic?
Yes. Yeah, it can be bad.
I guess the first question is, why are you comparing yourself to others? If the answer is because I want to learn how this creator is successful and what things they do right and how I implement them into my own content, that's a fantastic way of comparing yourself to others. If, on the other hand, you're comparing yourself to others and saying their thumbnails are terrible, I make better content than them, why am I not getting more views? Then that's a bad reason for comparison. Ultimately, you have no control over the channel you're comparing against. You don't know their full journey story, what they've been through, what they haven't been through, whether or not they have been lucky, whether this is their 17th channel. There are just so many unknowns to the comparison question that you'll just get yourself stuck in a loop, worrying more about somebody else as opposed to how your content best serves your audience.
Yeah, it's important if you're going to compare yourself, and Rob basically said this, like, do it from a research point of view. Like, do it for that reason. Don't look at another channel and go and get obsessed with their subscriber count, their view counts. Not relevant. You couldn't be less relevant to you.
I actually talk about this a little bit in a video that's coming out on Friday, I think. I said one of the mistakes you make is standing still as a creator. And then I use a reference point that the last quarter of 2021 for the vidIQ channel was tough. We went from doing like 2 million views a month to 1.5 million views a month. So traffic was down about 25%. But I looked at Ed and Nate from Film Booth and Channel Makers, who have had phenomenal growth in 2021. And they've just hit 100,000 subscribers each. And I looked at that as kind of like a bit of a kick up the backside for myself, in that, you know, maybe it's not traffic sources that are declining. Maybe it's just we're not making the right videos for our audience. And so Dan and I made, I would say, a lot of very subtle changes to our content, whether it be changing the intros a little bit or focusing on this particular topic because we hadn't covered it for a while, or deciding to do a collaboration. We've really thought hard about how to make the vidIQ channel better, perhaps influenced by the success we were seeing from other YouTube educators. And I kind of call it a bit of friendly, passive rivalry. They've really pushed me and you, Dan, I think, to take our videos to the next level, even if we weren't necessarily thinking along those lines. And in January, we've had one of the best months ever. So, you know, I want to say thank you to Dan and Nate for kind of pushing me in the background
You mean Ed?
to become a better creator.
You said Dan and Nate. You meant Ed.
Sorry, whoever I'm talking to, thank you.
So yeah, there you go. There's a healthy way to do it and an unhealthy way to do it. And yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Should I try to have better quality videos or more videos when you have under 200 subscribers? Rob, I'll start because you just talked for a bit. I'll give you a break. The answer I would say is it has nothing to do with your subscriber number. That number, I know a lot of people like to hold it up as like some kind of benchmark. It's really not. Like, it has so little to do with your sub count. Do you have the time to make better and or more videos? Either way, it costs you some time, right? I think when you're starting, like Rob, like, make as many videos as you can. Like, get in there, get your hands dirty, right? But quality plays a role, and there will come a point where, like Farzy, if you look at Farzy's first videos and you look at the videos that he's making now, the editing is so different. It's night and day. It's so much more energy, and every single thing Farzy does to a video is more time. Every time he punches into his camera, every time he zooms into something else, like all of that stuff, the music, the sound effects, everything, that's just more and more time being spent on the content. So he's created a workflow that works for him, but it took a lot of quantity to get to that point. Like, so just kind of you can let that evolve naturally, but you don't, I don't know. I wouldn't get hung up on this. This is what I'm trying to say. There's no simple answer because everybody's different. Everyone has a different thing going on. Everyone's got school or work or a certain amount of time that they have to dedicate to video making. So if you want to improve your quality, dedicate some of that time to education. Learn how to use your video editing software better. Learn how to make better thumbnails by taking Photoshop tutorials or online classes. But implement that slowly. You don't have to do it all at once. If you have anything to add to that.
Disagree a little bit with what you say, Dan, only in the sense that if a channel has under 200 subscribers, that would suggest that they haven't been on YouTube for very long, and
potentially
nothing beats experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that there are a lot of things that you haven't yet learned that are easy to learn because you've got so many things to learn. That was a bit of a mouthful. I feel as if my personal thought here is in the first 6 months of being on YouTube, or your first 50 videos or whatever, should be just about creating. Because as well as learning the process of going through all of the elements of making a video 50 times or however many times you decide to do it,
mm-hmm.
You're also learning whether or not you enjoy making videos, which you are going to be doing a lot if you become successful at it, unless you outsource it. So this is why I think you have to have that passion to get out of bed every day and just love making videos for the sake of making videos before you get the feedback and the clout and so on. Making content is still my creative outlet, which I love doing. I spent 10 minutes making this fake YouTube check this morning for a prop for a video that I'm making because I love the creative aspect of doing that. I hope people enjoy it.
It's funny. I have things like that I do too. It's just like spend time, you don't even realize how many hours something like that could take.
Yeah. I'm on video 2,412 now on my journey, and I'm still taking the time to do these fun creative things because I like doing that part of YouTube.
Yeah.
But that comes from how many times I've made videos and all of these muscle memory, creative neurons that are firing when I decide how I'm going to introduce a video. And I feel that comes through quantity to begin with. And the more quantity you have, the more quality is built up through those reps. And then you get to a level of parity, and then you've got to and then I almost feel as if you decide whether you're going to be a channel that pumps out 7 videos a day, or you're someone like MKBHD who still prides himself on quality. And one of the ways he's done that is by spending $250,000 on a robot arm that can move cameras in a very unique style that is unique to his content. And it still sets himself apart from other creators through a level of quality.
I completely agree. The reason I went on the tangent I did, just to defend myself a little bit, is that go ahead. I don't want anyone to think I only have 200 subscribers, so that is licensed to X. It's not.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a chance they're hung up on their subscriber count, making that the deciding factor. When am I going to improve the quality of my videos? Is it when I'm at 300 subscribers? Is it when I'm at 1,000 subscribers? Maybe vidIQ knows. And that's, I just want that mindset to go away. You know, it's let things happen naturally, you know. But I agree with everything you said. I feel like I got hung up on the subscriber aspect of it. Moving on to our next question. Oh, that's not a question. Maybe one of us accidentally.
No. I did that.
Okay.
I started that. We're not going to do that. Watch my video later on in a week.
There you go. You don't want us to do that. Yes, I do. You don't. If you did have a video go viral, how do you sustain that?
So the most crucial thing here is, irrespective of what you think your channel is about or was about over the course of 100 videos, your next video after that viral video has to address that same audience. Because according to YouTube, if 100 people watch your video this week, YouTube will share it to 700 people the following week. So that's impressions, that's discoverability. And when the viewers see your next video on the homepage, it has to relate to why they watched you from that viral content. And that might be a huge problem. You may have just completely pivoted your channel from that viral piece of content. But if you want to sustain that level of audience, then you need to appeal to audience. Jonk did this, I think, with his animations when he did some stuff about KSI. Those videos went viral. He then made some more videos about KSI, which helped sustain a similar audience. But then when he goes back to his normal content, the audience drops off significantly. But that's a decision you've got to make as a creator, whether or not you're going to follow the virality of content, or you're going to stick to a particular audience and grow that viewership over a longer period of time. Yeah.
I think in the case of like Farzi's viral moment with Among Us, where he said it almost sounded like he regretted making this video, his best video. It's because a lot of people come in from that and they want to see more videos like it. But the problem is there was never a plan to follow up on that trend. And I honestly think in his case, that's okay. It's worked well for him. And like I told him while he was here earlier, that probably means you got a lot of people who found you for the first time and stuck around. And it also means a lot of people found you for the first time and didn't. And sometimes that's okay too. There's these, like for Jonk is getting more views than he ever did when we first met him, you know, off of the KSI video. So people went back and checked out his content. He may be getting a lot less views on his videos day to day than he was getting on his KSI videos, but it still was a net gain for him. He still gained audience members, people who never knew who the heck he was. So it's always like a positive thing.
Again, not doing audits, but if we look at Razzle's channel, kind of rhymes that. Let's just assume, I don't know if this is correct, but let's just assume this was the viral video. And let's assume it wasn't 4 months ago. Let's assume it was 4 days ago.
Right.
Dan, would we be building a Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet? And we'd be building an arcade shop, you know, like you got pinballs in there, you got like the new arcade cabinets, the old arcade cabinets, and then where do you take it to the next level? You build like an arcade theme park.
You build an arcade.
Yeah, you build an arcade and you have the Simpsons in there and whatever. You build an arcade cabinet that plays Minecraft within Minecraft.
Yep.
If that's even possible.
People have made like redstone contraptions that play Minecraft within Minecraft.
Yeah.
So maybe you've done that video and it's really hard to replicate. You know, maybe you only had the Donkey Kong game in you. Can you show people more specifically how to build it? If that's the case, this is kind of where YouTube can become a job. You may not know how to make Street Fighter is like an arcade cabinet in Minecraft, but now it's time to learn. Now it's time to do that research and get a little bit better. Farzi's builds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He didn't inherently know how to build to the skill level he's at now. It's something he had to develop over time. It's something he had to invest in terms of his education. So this is where quality meets quantity, or vice versa, right? Like quantity meets quality. You've made all these videos, you tested something new, it worked, and you're like, I want to capitalize on that. How do I do it? Well, I loved that thumbnail. That thumbnail, I didn't even need to see a title. I would watch that video. I've never seen anything like that in Minecraft, and that's why 11,000 people clicked on that video. So either it's more arcade cabinets or it's more interesting, like a pinball machine or something kind of adjacent to that, showing people something they've never seen before in the game. That's what got you the views. when does the playback-based CPM go back up? Do you pick this question?
I think this might be a question based on a video I made about how CPMs are terrible in January. So you go through the third and fourth quarter of YouTube, and you see CPMs go up because there's lots of advertisers sticking adverts on videos because it's that time of year. And then in January, almost on like the 31st of December, everything goes woof for most channels. Your revenue goes down 25%. It will depend on your topic in terms of the advertisers advertising your content. I'm trying to remember, in the past, it tends to be around about March, April time, but there may be a second lull during the summer. And then October, November, December is when it really ratchets up, especially in the tech world. That's where my CPMs came from. It's probably similar in the gaming topic, but I'm not sure. And this is just the ebbs and flows of YouTube revenue, which you don't control. That's one big reason why you shouldn't just rely on AdSense. It may dictate how you make content. Like in January, February, March, you can be working just as hard on videos, but you're being paid less because of low CPM. So you may want to invest time and resources back into your channel and make improvements as opposed to making content. Whereas in the latter half of a year, you might just be a production line. All your focus is on just making content, because the ad revenue is higher. So that's certainly something to think about. Yeah.
I think for January, I made $30 more than I did in December, but I also had made more content than I did in December. So I don't know. I have to go back and look. I don't know if it was significantly more content or just a little bit more content. Maybe there was one viral-ish moment that did something, but I was impressed. I'm like, oh, I didn't think that would happen, but I actually made a tiny bit more money in January. So it's not going to be the same for everybody, is kind of my point.
You are booking the trend there, Dan. Well done.
Thoughts on using a face cam to incorporate into gaming videos and make VR content? I picked this one because VR content's really interesting. A lot of the biggest VR channels that I watch and I've seen do VR videos where they've created this requires a lot of money and space, but they have a room dedicated to VR that's like green. The floor is green and the walls are green, and the camera's pointing at them, their full body, while they're in VR. So if they're playing Beat Saber, you see Beat Saber, but they've done this like AR thing where they're immersed in it. So it's the human, the real flesh and blood human in Beat Saber, and they're hitting all the notes. You can see those too. So using green screens and everything else, so there's not even a face cam. They're putting themselves in the games. Those are the channels I've seen. I've seen some VR videos that don't have like a face cam or any like kind of camera on the actual person. You're just seeing what they see. And the problem with this, it's a bit jarring. It's the camera's always moving. So given that, I would say having another camera, it might be more important. This is purely opinion. I should probably talk to some VR creators. Having a camera though is probably more important in VR content than it would be in other types of gaming content for that reason. Like giving the audience something stable to look at, even if it's just in the corner of the screen, might help, because watching somebody's, like what they're seeing in VR, it's not shaky to them. It's their head moving around. But for you, the camera's just, I get a little bit dizzy sometimes if I watch too much of that. So I prefer to watch the people who have a camera pointed at them and it's like an AR kind of effect. I'm sure there's a name for it.
I agree. I think the physical experience of VR is much more important than when you just sat down playing a controller, because you want to see how energetic it is playing Beat Saber, or you want to see the reaction when somebody scares themselves playing Resident Evil or something using VR, because it's so much more of an immersive experience.
Mm-hmm.
But there are barriers. I mean, you've talked about this many times before, Dan, with VR content.
Yeah.
There's quite a high barrier to entry, which means that those who got on early are really starting to reap the rewards.
Yeah, and it's easier now. Like the Quest the Quest 2 is a really cheap headset compared to the past. The headsets that come out before. People are figuring out pretty easily how to stream with it and things like that. But the channels I watch the most are the ones that have taken that time to invest in the extra equipment. I'm not saying you have to get started. I'm just saying that might be a goal for you to work towards as you build your channel and you look to improve. Should I go back and work on old video thumbnails?
Oh, now this is another area of our own channel, Dan, that I think we may have to explore at some point. And again, this might be Ed from Film Booth. He's starting to convince me otherwise. My old thought was always, you should always be thinking forwards. Like, if the thumbnail didn't work on an old video, then chances are, not only do you make better thumbnails, but you make better video content. So you might want to just remake the video as a better video with a better thumbnail. But Ed has been doing some really interesting videos about how he is revitalizing old content by completely changing the pitch of a video. So not just maybe subtle changes to the color or changing the YouTuber reaction. He's like retitling it, redoing the thumbnail completely. But I think what helps in that is that when he plans a video, he has 5 different titles in mind, and he's made 5 to 10 different thumbnail variations. So he's already prepared to do that. General advice would be here, if the content is still really valuable today as it was when you first made it, so it's not time sensitive, it has that evergreen quality to it, and you are getting positive signals from the content whereby it has decent audience retention, in the sense that once people get into the video, then they're really enjoying it. It's a thumbnail and a title that's letting it down. Then yeah, revisit it. Actually, Dan, I remember we were auditing a channel yesterday, the Minecraft animation channel with the screwed up paper as a background. Like,
oh,
you
right,
got 10 seconds into the video and like, oh, this video is really cool. Actually, I'm going to enjoy watching this. But the thumbnails were terrible, so people were never going to get past that first hurdle.
Yeah. It's kind of that decision. Like, if you have a video you really believe in and you really worked hard on it and you think of a better way to package it with a new title and thumbnail, then absolutely, like, give it a shot. It doesn't cost you too much to do that. But the times I usually change my titles and thumbnails are in the first few minutes of a video's release. Like, if I'm noticing, maybe not minutes, maybe the first hour or so, if I'm noticing a video is just performing less than ideally, and I can think of, I don't torture myself, but if I can think of a new way to package it, I will quickly do that, because the longer you wait, the harder it is. Although Ed has proof that you can do it months later and eventually the video finds itself. But yeah, like, I just feel like I know my audience pretty well. And so sometimes I release a video and I'm like, oh, of course the title should be this. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, that happens all the time, and that's when I'll go back. But the older a video gets, the less it matters. I'm working on the next thing. I'm not really worried about what that video did. It's in the past. Cool. You know what? We answered all the questions.
Hey!
Don't tell the people who are still asking questions that have not gotten their question answered. I'm going to say we answered all the questions.
We did.
No, thank you for being here. We are at time. I had an awesome time. I hope everyone else did too. I hope you learned a lot. If you didn't catch the first half hour or first hour of the stream, we talked to Farzy, who is a Minecraft YouTuber who has 300,000+ subscribers, and gave all kinds of super valuable tips and info. His link is down below if you want to go check out his channel. As I said earlier, don't subscribe to it if you're not interested in that kind of content, but certainly go check it out. And yeah, Kat's here to say goodbye. Any final thoughts, Rob?
No, other than this is a really sad moment. So Dan, if you can bring up the end of the live stream graphic.
Oh wait, are you talking about this one? But
you were supposed to end.
I was just clicking it and then stopped. I thought you were going to say something.
No.
The end of these is always a mess.
It is. It is
a compilation of this screen and us shouting over it. Someone make that. All right, bye.